Okay. All right. So if you're wondering why I'm standing here or sitting here doing the Trump jerk off two guys at the same time dance, maybe you have not been paying attention to the local news, but that is what we are here today. We've got a great show scheduled for you guys today. We are going to, of course, go over the phenomenal win in Virginia last night, in which Democrats overwhelmingly won a decision to redistrict. And we'll tell you why MAGA is hypocritically flipping out all about that. We're also going to talk about Donald Trump tacoing again. And last but not least, this one is going to throw you for a loop. Okay. And it's weird that more people aren't talking about this, but apparently Donald Trump had to be stopped by a top general from using nukes on Iran. So before we get to all that, I do want to say that we have heard stories, right, throughout our lives. In fact, some of them since we were very young, not to get cocky. Don't get too confident, because if you do, that will lose you the contest. Now, in particular, when we were little, the tortoise and the hare, right? The tortoise and the hare, or if you're more of a Bugs Bunny fan, that, right? There's so many different sayings that come into play. There's it ain't over until the fat lady sings. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Pride cometh before the fall. Don't spike the ball on the 5-yard line. That's for you football fans out there. Don't rest on your laurels, and it ain't over till it's over. So the reason I'm bringing this up, several reasons. It has partially to do with Virginia, and also partially to do with the larger picture, which is the midterm elections, which are coming up in November. So we have had a good run. We've had a really good run. And speaking of a good run, I don't know if you guys saw this video today, but it is amazing because it is the personification of those sayings, like it ain't over till it's over, right? And I'm just going to read. I saw this video on either April 19th or April 20th, and I wrote here, if you ever get complacent and think Dems have the midterm elections in the bag, think again. Watch the guy in the front. He is celebrating before he crossed the finish line, and he lost. So there is a dude who's like way back, and there's a guy who's literally like, he's 10 yards from the finish line. He slows down. He is, celebrating. He's running and doing the jerking two guys off dance. And dude, you have not crossed that finish line yet. So I'm going to share that with you briefly. In case you haven't seen it, it is pretty remarkable. Here it is. And the dude coming from behind, he is cooking. He is booking, going so fast. Guys, I mean, that is it in a nutshell. That is the moral of the story. That is, do not get complacent, please. Do not take wins for granted. And we've had quite a few wins. We've had, in fact, 30 since Donald Trump took office again. We have had 30 flipped seats to 0 flip seats on the Republicans. Republicans were unable to flip any seats, 30-0. So I say that because, look, I love to gloat. In fact, last night Last night, if you're MAGA, I make no apologies whatsoever for this tweet. I said, congratulations, Virginia. Congratulations, Democrats. Congrats, America. Suck it, MAGA. Let me say it in case you didn't hear that properly. Suck it, MAGA. Yeah. Because you know what? Fuck it. Every once in a while, you have to enjoy these wins when we get them. We don't win all the time. Nobody wins all the time. But when it comes, enjoy it, luxuriate it in it, but move on. Don't let it make you think that we've got this in the back. We have so much hard work ahead of us, and we have to stay focused like a laser, and we have to stay hungry, and we have to stay fired up. So we got a ton of stuff to go over today. I hope you're ready to get into it, because I am. Let's go. Incredible person, incredible human being. Yes, famous. Yes. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Defiant Weekly. I'm your host, Majid Padelin, aka Brooklyn Dad Defiant. And happy Wednesday to you guys. And for those of you who are still celebrating the win last night, congratulations, Democratic Party. I am doing well myself this past weekend, because I don't spend, although it might seem like it, I don't spend my entire life on Twitter. In fact, I do have a life, and this weekend I went to my aunt's 100th birthday party. Her birthday was April 14th. She turned 100. It is the first and only 100th birthday party I've ever been to in my life. So it was amazing because there were cousins, aunts and uncles that I haven't seen in decades, literally like 20 or 30 years. So it was pretty amazing. And I have a beautiful family. I feel lucky. I feel grateful for them all. And I'm glad we were able to have a chance to reconnect. And my aunt, God bless her, she was like at the center of a beautiful, loving family. So I am totally happy to have been there to see her able to celebrate her 100th. Let's see who is here at the top. Joanne Kennedy is up at the top there, followed by Meredith Powell, Sharon Landry, Tina Bradford. The cold virus says a judge in Virginia just ruined everything. They're going back to court. I don't care. We still won. It doesn't overturn that win, or does it? I don't know. We still won. It's going to hold. Let's see. Tina Bradford says, yeah, but let's hope it doesn't hold virus. Sharon said, we need to tell BDD after he chair dances. Oh well. Look, I regret nothing. That chair dance, it still stands. I've been watching TV all day. I didn't see that at all. Virginia is going back to court. Okay, well, I found out with you guys. And Brother X, thank you for the congrats to my auntie. I will definitely pass that on. You too, Bernadette H. I see you there. Treyanne says, I miss story time. Well, guess what? Story time. Technically, story time is still here. Story time is just wearing a business suit now, even though I'm not wearing a business suit. Story time has grown up a little bit, but still here. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump on into let's get into this. Here we go. Okay, so our main topic, Virginia crushed him. And yes, that still stands. It still happened. Why? Doesn't matter that a court is stepping in now. It doesn't negate the fact that millions of Virginians went out and cast their votes decisively. It wasn't a landslide, it wasn't that narrow of a win either. So yeah, Virginians had to get out to vote yes, and they did. They did, and they outnumbered the no's by a lot, by 3%, as it turned out, which is, fun fact, a much larger, wider margin than Donald Trump won the presidency to go back in. Here we go. Okay. Ceasefire extended. What? You don't say. It can't be, because Donald Trump would never go back on his word. He would never reverse direction. No, but yes, he did. And we'll talk about the implications of that reversal. And last but not least, this is the bizarre story that that I learned about, and I was surprised that it's not a bigger story. Apparently, Donald Trump had a closed session with some top military personnel, and General Dan Caine had to step in, and this is according to sources. It's the best I can do, folks. It's sources. But I'll tell you later on why that is not so far-fetched to believe that this thing occurred. If this is your first time here, if you're just scrolling through and you see this guy in the red shirt and the hat and the headphones, and you decided to stop by and say hi or check out the chat or whatever, enjoy yourself. We have a lovely group of people in the chats, but make sure you hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button. That's the most important one. It's in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Do it now. Thank you. All right, so as I said, this margin of victory was not insignificant last night. It turned out with 97% of the vote in, it was 51%. Why is my thing so low? Okay, there we go. It was 51.4% to 48.6%. Very significant margin, much larger than the margin that Donald Trump won to get back into the White House. So don't let them take that away from you. All right. Meanwhile, my mentions last night were filled with butthurt Trumpers and MAGA saying, you guys are cheating, Democrats. Oh, really? Oh, we're cheating? Huh? We're cheating? Are you sure about that? Because, I seem to recall when Texas redistricted, none of you guys had a problem with that. Nobody said, oh, Greg Abbott, he's cheating. He didn't even ask the Texas residents. He just went and did it because Donald Trump told him to. Non-Texas resident Donald Trump told him to. Nobody had a problem with that. In the middle of the decade, against precedent, Donald Trump told him to. This guy here, this Trumper here says, if you're okay with Democrats gerrymandering, you have to be okay with Republicans gerrymandering. And I support gerrymandering for both. We are in a direct democracy. Lots of lunatic comments like this. Democrats are actually not fine with gerrymandering. We have tried to get an anti-gerrymandering bill passed multiple times, repeatedly, over and over. Republicans constantly say no. It's what it is. They won't do it. The only difference is this is the first time, finally, our Democratic Party is standing up and saying no more. They stopped bringing a knife to a gunfight. We are fighting fire with fire. This is bizarre. Even the Washington Post, when Texas did their gerrymandering, they called it the Texas gerrymander freakout. What's happening in the Lone Star State is not a threat to democracy. Really? But then last night, they were like, Virginia plunges America deeper into the gerrymandering abyss. What? Who is writing these things for the Washington Post? Have you not yet lost enough subscribers? What is the deal? That is crazy. It's crazy to me. Then you have Trump supporters or influencers like Eric Doherty, who back when Texas and Indiana were redistricting, he was saying, breaking, multiple Indiana state senators are coming out in support of redrawing Indiana's map before 2026 to cancel out Democrat cheating. Make sure you do this one. He was all for that. Last night, breaking, Virginia voters have passed the egregiously congressional gerrymandering map expected to give 10 seats to Democrats, only 1 seat to Republicans. Oh, no. That means over 90% of Virginia becomes represented by Democrats, disenfranchising a huge swath of the entire state. Y'all didn't seem to care about disenfranchising voters as you were pushing that SAVE Act nonsense. The SAVE Act, which is supposed to address a non-issue. It displaces and disenfranchises millions of voters for something that's not even an issue, something that happens 0.0003% of the time. Ridiculous. Laura Ingraham was busy celebrating last year, said Texas Governor Greg Abbott just locked in a major win for Texas and for America. Major win. Democrats cry unfair every time they lose ground, but voters know the truth. The GOP is delivering. Actually, the GOP is not delivering. And Sandra from Paramount, California. Thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you for the sticker. The GOP is not delivering. This GOP is even less effective and less efficient than the last one. It's pathetic. So yeah, that Texas redistricting plan was supposed to give Texas Republicans a humongous advantage in the midterms. But as it turned out, the Democratic Party was like, you know what? We're sick and tired of this. We're no more Mr. Nice Guy. And when we say no more Mr. Nice Guy, we mean it. Okay. And California came out and had an election. Unlike Texas, we had an election and won that one. That one was a margin. I think that was 60% to 40%. That's what it is. Elections have consequences, as Republicans love to remind us when their guy who couldn't even crack 50%, Donald Trump, won the presidency with less than 50%. 49 to Kamala Harris's 48. That's what it was. And here, of course, predictably, so many people in my mentions predicted this last night. They were like, I'm surprised he hasn't called it rigged yet. And sure enough, this morning, Donald Trump called this thing rigged. He says, a rigged election took place last night in the great Commonwealth of Virginia. All day long, Republicans were winning. The spirit was unbelievable until the very end when, of course, there was a massive mail-in ballot drop. So, of course, he's using this to try to pass his bogus narrative that mail-in ballots are somehow wrong, even though he uses mail-in ballots himself. He only doesn't like mail-in ballots when they hurt him. Anytime he loses, it's rigged. And you're crazy, you are blind if you don't see that he does this thing over and over again anytime he loses. When he loses, it's rigged. When he wins, it's cool. right? You don't see him complaining about the 2024 election because he won that, right? He won. AOC is fantastic. She promoted this statement from leader Hakeem Jeffries, who had a warning for Florida because apparently Florida is considering also doing a redistricting thing. And Hakeem Jeffries' statement reads, if Florida Republicans proceed with this illegal scheme, they will only create more prime pickup opportunities for Democrats, just as they did with Trump's dummy mander in Texas. We will aggressively target for defeat Mario. And he goes on and lists like a bunch of Republican candidates that like, be careful what you ask for, because if that's the road you want to go down, we're ready for you. And this new Hakeem Jeffries, this new, more assertive Hakeem Jeffries, I'm on board for this brother here. I'm 100% on board for him. I support him. He's had a rough go. He's had to try to, he's kind of had to try to get his legs up under him and figure out, what is the right tone, because he is the leader. And I think he was trying not to fall into the trap that Chuck Schumer kind of fell into. And Chuck Schumer, you know what? He was good. Chuck Schumer was good for when the Senate was normal, right? When his fellow senators, actually believed in the oath that they swore to defend the Constitution and to serve as a check and balance against the president. Today's Senate, today's Republican Party, they don't believe in anything anymore. They just follow that one guy, and they're following him to their doom because he is mired in horrendous poll numbers. His poll numbers, I think, just got down to 33%. He only has 33% approval. So. Oh, and here's a comment from AOC that I think I want to share with you guys too. She's remarking on the complaining that Republicans have been doing about the Virginia win. Here it is.
What do you make of Republicans saying that Virginia, you guys getting
Democrats
wow. It's totally unconstitutional.
Listen, Democrats have attempted and asked Republicans for 10 years to ban partisan gerrymandering. And for 10 years, Republicans have said no. Republicans have fought for partisan gerrymanders across the United States of America, and these are the rules that they have set. And so if the Republican Party wanted to start this, they did this in North Carolina. They drew out 3 Democratic members of Congress in North Carolina. They drew out in Texas. They redid Texas. What they're just mad at is that they have been accustomed to a Democratic Party that rolls over, doesn't fight, and takes everything sitting down. And what they're mad at right now is that we are here in a new day. And we have been asking the Democratic Party to stand up and fight. And now they did. And now the Republican Party doesn't like the fact that they are fighting against someone who actually will stand up for the American people. So if Republicans decide that they would like to revisit a ban on partisan gerrymandering, I welcome them. We have the bill right here to end this all today, but they don't want to because they like pursuing and continuing to enact an unfair electoral landscape.
So what AOC just said, I'll put it in terms like this. If you don't start nothing, there won't be nothing. It's that simple, right? She said, hey, we're ready to end gerrymandering right now, today, but they don't want to do it. So put up or shut up. Put up or shut up. Somebody's saying that's still too high. Oh, 33%. Indeed. I agree. So let's see. All right, let's do a quick roundup of how some of Donald Trump's insane cabinet members are doing. Let's start off with Kash Patel, because this shit is crazy. Kash Patel, first of all, right, generally speaking, I would like to say this. There are certain positions in the government that I want to be apolitical. And I don't think it's just me personally. I think if you're a Republican and there's a Democratic president in office, I think you want the people who are responsible for our security and our safety and for stopping crime. I think you want them to be as apolitical as possible, meaning you don't want any politics in what they do. So for things like the Pentagon, the Secretary of Defense, that person should be as dry as toast, right? He or she should be sober and sane and serious. Same thing goes for the U.S. Attorney General, the people who are responsible for going after the bad guys. I don't want rah, rah, rah. I don't want stupid Pam Bondi cheerleader bullshit. I don't want Kash Patel and his snarky podcaster responses. Nah, man, I want straightforward. I want, what's that guy's name? Chris Wray. Chris Wray is a Republican chosen by Donald Trump. Right? I was fine with him. Why? Because he was a serious person. I didn't doubt his credentials. I didn't doubt his motivations. None of that. And he was, again, not a Democrat. Okay? Not a Democrat. Oh, MAGA's like, oh, he was a rhino. Whatever, guys. He had a job to do, and he did it. He did it without fanfare and without politicking, right? I don't want this fucking bullshit politicking in the serious things. Health and human services, all those things should be as serious as cancer. No pun intended there, but anyway. So Kash Patel suing The Atlantic over a report The Atlantic put out that they stand behind, and said that they were trying to reach Kash Patel, but he was unreachable. They couldn't get him to open the door. They said he was hammered. They said brother would not answer the door. At one point, he had a freak out. He freaked the hell out and thought that he was locked out, thought he was fired, all this stuff. So he got a battering ram. They brought a battering ram to his house. Break him. And I'm sorry, that dude, he's not a serious person. Not at all. He's had plenty of opportunities to show who he is, to plenty of opportunities to demonstrate a serious person. He was in front of the Senate and the House several times, and each time he's shown his ass. He's shown that he is a buffoon who cannot be taken seriously. So good luck with that lawsuit. I don't think you're going to win it. And here, call to activism posted, fireworks just erupted at the Trump Stooges press conference announcing charges against the SPLC. That's the Southern... I want to say Southern Poverty Law Center. I cannot remember what the hell the name, what that acronym stands for, but it's basically the people who hunt down extremist groups, the Klan, neo-Nazis, all that stuff. They have money that they pay to informants to infiltrate these groups and figure out what their plots are. That makes sense to me. That's a good expenditure of money, I think. But they have been, I think, indicted on fraud, right? So this is what Kash Patel's FBI is focused on right now. It's focused on going after the people who were going after the white supremacists. Okay. And I'm only gonna play a little bit of this freak out here, but I think it's important for perspective to see the level of sanity that Kash Patel does not possess. It's insane. It is truly insane. You've never seen anything like this before from any cabinet level member in any presidency. I guarantee you, it is wild. And I'm also including Pete Hegseth, but just by a sliver. Pete Hegseth is also an unhinged lunatic as well. But here we go.
I'm on the job. I'm the first one in. I'm the last one out. I'm like an everyday American who loves his country, loves the sport of hockey, and champions my friends when they raise a gold medal and invite me in to celebrate. I've never been intoxicated on the job, and that is why we filed a $250 million defamation lawsuit. And any one of you that wants to participate, bring it on. I'll see you in court.
Explain the computer login issue. Just explain the computer login issue. You were not able to log into your lawsuit contends that you were not able to log into the system. What did you think after you were unable to log into the system?
Let's have a survey.
No, let's not have a survey. Dude, the reporter asked you a straightforward question. This is not time for snark. Just answer the fucking question. Answer it. Let's have a survey. What do you think this is, Twitter? Dude, come on.
How many of you people believe that's true? Hang on.
Did you communicate?
You asked the question. Let me answer it.
No, let me ask.
But you're not answering the question. You are filibustering. You are obfuscating. You were trying to buy yourself some time. I don't know what the hell it is that you're doing, but you're not answering a straightforward question.
No.
Did you communicate with anyone that you thought you were fired after you were unable to log into
The problem with you and your report, don't cut me off. You asked the question.
Again, you're answering with an attack. Just answer the question. He's not attacking you. He's doing his job as a reporter, and you're being a dick.
The problem with you and your baseless reporting is that is an absolute lie. It was never said. It never happened. And I will serve in this administration as long as the president and the attorney general want me to do so. And every time you guys report false lies, every time you guys raise baseless questions, when we are here to talk about the Southern Poverty Law Center's $3 million decade-long scheme to fraudulently fleece Americans, you are off topic.
Simple, straightforward question. Did you talk to anybody about whether you thought
The
you were
simple
fired?
answer to your question is you are lying. And every time you do so,
He's not lying. He's asking you a question, dude. Come on. This is unhinged behavior. So I'm not going to continue because at one point, Todd Blanche has to step in and referee. This is just, it's sad. It's truly sad. And if anyone out there thinks that shit is normal, then you got problems, right? So yeah, as I said earlier, the Southern Poverty Law Center, I was right, indicted on charges that it fraudulently paid informants in extremist groups. It has been noted that no individuals have been named in this lawsuit, which leads many legal experts to believe that this case is without merit and it will be dismissed. Okay. Pete Hegseth, another one. Just this clown. This clown quoted a fake Bible verse from Pulp Fiction. The one that Samuel Jackson's character busts out just before he's about to bust a cap in somebody. If you've seen Pulp Fiction, I've seen Pulp Fiction. You've seen that, and it's a badass quote. But if you're claiming that is from the Bible, you are a buffoon. And again, I just wish the person in charge of the Pentagon, the one who's in charge of our armed forces, and therefore the life and security of our nation, I wish that person would just, not be a drama queen like Pete. I have my own makeup room, Hegseth, simple as that. Lori Chavez de Remer has just resigned. She was the labor secretary, and she resigned after accusations of misconduct. Some people said it was sexual misconduct. Other people say it was substance abuse or alcohol, where she was asking people to go bring her wine and stuff like that. Let's see. Her departure comes amid allegations that she was having a sexual relationship with a member of her security team, attempted to use business trips as excuses for personal travel, and sent staff to pick up alcohol for her. Her husband had been banned from the building amid sexual assault allegations. So only the best people in Donald Trump's regime. Yeah. Because now, as we know, Pam Bondi is gone. Also, Kristi Noem is gone. It's weird that out of all the people that are gone so far, it's only been the women. That seems suspect to me. I know there are a whole bag full of horrible. I almost want to say basket of deplorables, but that seems quaint compared to what we're looking at right now. It's a whole, if this was supposed to be a cabinet, it's more like a junk drawer. Lucy says he'll replace them all with all men. I do believe that 100%, no doubt that will happen. And it's weird. It's just weird that boom, 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 so many. I think the first person to go, the next person to go should be Kash Patel. That dude is unhinged. I want somebody going after the bad guys. Period. I don't care what party you're in. Get after the bad guys. In fact, get after the clients in the Epstein files. Do that. That was one of Donald Trump's campaign promises, to get after those people, hold them accountable. Where's that happening? Why are you going after people who are going after neo-Nazis and KKK? Come on. That's ridiculous. And RFK Jr., boy, this dude is something. Today, he tried to explain that Donald Trump has how Donald Trump likes to say that prices were brought prices down 600%, 800, 1,000%, and that's not how math works. RFK Jr. went out of his way to explain that Donald Trump has his own way of doing math, which, again, that's cute, but that's not math. That's just delusion. Okay. That's just you coddling a grown 79-year-old man. That's you not telling him that math doesn't work that way. That's what that is, RFK Jr. He is a disgrace to the Kennedy name, if there ever was one. And by the way, he was also exposed again today by Angela also Brooks, who brought up the fact that he said in a podcast that all Black children should be reparented, which I thought was stunning myself. I wouldn't have believed that, even for him, a crazy dead bear picking up, whale head cutting up, raccoon penis slicing off, all these things. And I wouldn't have believed that, because that was pretty crazy, to reparent all Black kids, because he assumed that they were all our Black children were on some kind of harmful drugs, right? So that they should be reparented. It's insane. And he's like, I never said any such thing. Last week, he said, I never said any such thing. Show me where I said that. And then they had it. They had a transcript of what he said. Again today, Angela also Brooks confronted him with that. He's like, I never said any such thing. Show me where I said that. I need to see the transcript. Oh, dude, Embarrassment. The transcript is there. The video is there. It's been played on all the news channels. You know you saw it, you son of a bitch. Come on now. Stop wasting our time. And speaking of wasting time, Donald Trump is wasting America's time, is wasting Iran's time, is wasting the world's time with this war on Iran. This is an unjust war. We've all said it from the beginning. He did not seek approval from any of us. He didn't have an honest sit down with America and say, look, there's a legitimate threat coming from Iran. Here's the deal. We struck them last year, but it didn't take. That was essentially the conversation he needed to have. He needed to admit that he was wrong, that when he said we obliterated them, I overspoke. I used what is that other word for exaggeration? It'll come to me. But yeah, I was exaggerating. We didn't really obliterate them. They still have all of their uranium and enriched materials. So we need to hit them again. But even that's not true. The truth is, about a Lego contract somewhere. That's a funny comment because Iran has just been lacing into the Trump regime hyperbole. Thank you. that was the word I was looking for. Hyperbole. Thank you for that. Iran has been lacing into the Trump regime with their hilarious Lego meme videos that have just come out, and they're like they slap because they got people rapping in there, and the raps actually make sense. If you listen to them, it's like, wow, these dudes. I hate the fact that their propaganda is so much better than ours. It is. It is what it is. Even the MAGAs understand what I'm saying. And I'll just say, I want to share this with you. This is kind of funny. I just saw this the other day. This is a very brief meme having to do with, also from Iran, having to do with Donald Trump and the Strait of Hormuz.
No. 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 No.
I love that. That little kid is adorable. I can't wait to see what happens when that kid grows up, finds out that the world was laughing at him. With him, I suppose. So anyway, Donald Trump has once again tacoed as far as Iran is concerned, and his ceasefire, the ceasefire that he said he was not going to extend. The ceasefire that he said, if they don't agree to a deal by the time this ceasefire is over, we're just going to start bombing them again. So here's one. Monday, Trump extends ceasefire by 48 hours. Tuesday, Trump extends ceasefire until March 28th. Wednesday, Trump extends ceasefire by another 48 hours. Thursday, Trump finally extends ceasefire by a week. Friday, Trump extends ceasefire till April 21st. Saturday, Trump extends ceasefire by another 48 hours. Trump has become a global laughing stock. And now I believe the ceasefire is just, it's just whatever. It's extended for an indefinite period of time. That's crazy. Yeah, you can't make this. You cannot make this shit up. And it's embarrassing if you're, God forbid, you're a Trump supporter, but just as an American, like, I can't believe the guy who's running our country is this stupid, because it's embarrassing. All of this is avoidable. Just fucking sit down with your team, with some people who have experience, some people who are smart, some people with negotiating skills, and get off your own stop buying your own hype. You know, they tell dealers, drug dealers, say don't get high off your own supply. Donald Trump is whacked out on his own supply of hype. He's buying all his own hype, and he's not as great as he tells people that he is. So here it is. Based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, not unexpectedly so, and upon the request of Field Marshal Asim Munir, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and in all other respects remain ready and able, and will therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted. So it's an indefinite ceasefire. It's just for whenever. And Iran is not in favor of America's demands, and they were supposed to have a delegation go over there led by J.D. Vance, and I think what's the Deadeye guy's name? His son-in-law, and Steve Witkoff. Vance's planned trip to Pakistan for negotiations has been put on hold. This comes after Iran refused to agree to key U.S. excessive demands and has refused to attend the talks at all. Jared Kushner was the name I was looking for. Excuse me. Yeah, all of this is clown show. It's clown show. It's so hard to believe that this is real life. Hard to believe, but it is actually happening. He's made an absolute fool of himself unnecessarily. This whole trip was unnecessary. I believe in part that it had to do with distracting from the release of some damning information, Epstein file information. When it first came out, the information that alleged that Donald Trump had sexually assaulted a minor, and I'm using the word sexually assaulted because otherwise YouTube will give me problems, right? But it's a harder word than that. When that first came out, I think a day later or maybe within hours later was when they launched the assault on Iran. And then nobody was talking about that thing. Nobody. But there's no other reason. It said, Marco Rubio originally came out and said, oh, it's because Iran was going to imminently attack Israel because Israel was going to attack Iran. So why didn't we just tell Israel, who we've given billions of dollars to, why didn't we just tell Israel, hey, Israel, chill the fuck out. Don't attack Iran. Don't do it. Why don't we just do that? Right? Instead, this thing has cost us $1 billion or $2 billion a day. A day. When they are telling us that they don't have the money to extend healthcare subsidies, when they're telling us that they don't have the money to pay for child lunches in school, come on, this is a joke. When they want to drop a bomb on somebody, they have all the money that they need and more. They're actually going back to Congress, asking them for $200 billion, $1.5 trillion. This is insane. It's insane. So how is this war going to end? I don't know, because Donald Trump has a big ego. And right now it's about saving face for him. And I don't think Iran is going to let him off the hook unless he agrees to some shit that will not let him save face. So the choice will then come down to how much obliteration will it take to make Iran cry uncle, right? How many people will Trump have to murder in order to get them to get them to agree to a deal? And again, all this was avoidable if you just didn't eliminate the deal that Obama had in place, right? Because your racist ass couldn't stand the fact that President Obama had negotiated this deal. It wasn't perfect, was not perfect, but you could have revised it. You could have updated and revised it, right? You would have been in a much better position than you are now. Because now you're looking at the fact that you have to either follow through on your threat to wipe them off the face of the earth, to just destroy their entire civilization, so commit war crimes, or you have to make a deal, a comprehensive deal similar to President Obama's deal. There's no way he gets out of this looking like anything less than a buffoon. So he drove around the block backwards just to go back into his driveway, into his garage. BDD, did you mention where Trump cut funding for Catholic Church immigration services? No, I wasn't even aware of that. Thank you for sharing that with me. I was not aware of that. I'm going to have to look into that. So let's go ahead and move forward. This shit is crazy. This shit is insane. So there's a report that Donald Trump tried to use here. It says retired CIA analyst Larry Johnson says Trump tried to use nuclear codes against Iran during White House emergency meeting on Saturday. That's this past Saturday. Trump was halted by Air Force General Dan Caine, who used military privilege to stop him. That's wild. Let me play this.
To try to deal with it. And then there was a report out that they had an emergency meeting Saturday night. And apparently, well, one report coming out of that meeting at the White House is that Trump wanted to use the nuclear codes. And General Dan Caine stood up and said no. He invoked his privilege as the head of the military, so to speak. It was apparently quite a blow up. There are pictures of Caine coming out of that meeting with his head down to the ground. So, you know, there's some very, very bizarre things going on in D.C.
Now, the White House, of course, is in full force denying this and saying it's nonsense. It never happened. That was on the Judge Napolitano podcast. But this White House has zero credibility. So when the White House says something is not true, they don't have a good track record because they have been lying. Anytime Caroline Leavitt's mouth is moving, it means she's lying about it. She's lying. So I'm glad to see that if, in fact, this was true, if in fact Donald Trump was this far away from using the nuclear fucking codes, that somebody was there with their head screwed on right, that was not a sycophant, and said, no, motherfucker, no. There are very few periodicals sourcing this at all. This is a report from Newsweek. Here it says a viral claim alleging that President Donald Trump attempted to, quote unquote, use nuclear codes during a heated Saturday night meeting on the Iran crisis is circulating across platforms, despite a lack of evidence. A White House spokesperson told Newsweek the claim was false, of course, and criticized its circulation. Newsweek has reached out to the Pentagon for comment. The claim originates from comments made by former CIA law officer Larry Johnson during an April 20th appearance on Judging Freedom, a podcast and YouTube talk show hosted by former Fox News legal analyst Andrew Napolitano. Johnson alleged that an emergency session at the White House turned confrontational when General Dan Caine, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, reportedly stood his ground against a presidential directive. So, you know what? I'm not surprised at all, because it was not too long ago that 6 members of Congress, Democratic members of Congress, made a point of coming out and saying, you do not have to follow illegal orders. Right? And to which the Republicans, raised hell. Oh my God, how dare you say that? That's treason. But you know what? The same guy who wanted to prosecute those 6 people, Pete Hegseth, he himself said that like 6 years ago, before he was ever even in the Trump regime. Yeah, he said the exact same thing. You do not have to follow illegal orders. That's just a fact. It's a fact. So it's a good thing that they're on record as having said that. I don't doubt that that this thing happened at all. Why? Is anybody old enough to remember when Donald Trump floated the idea of using nuclear bombs to stop hurricanes headed for the United States? This is a guy who is way too flippant and way too ignorant to know how ignorant he is. There's a term for that, and I forget what it is. That's not the it's a hyphenated term. I forget, but yeah, he's too dumb to know how dumb he is. And the idea of nuking a hurricane to stop a hurricane, that is dumb enough to be a Donald Trump idea. So as outrageous and unbelievable that story is, I believe it. I believe all the craziest things, because he has demonstrated for us with his own words out of his mouth on camera every day how insane he is. These are unprecedented times, and they call for unprecedented measures. That means the way we deal with Donald Trump, Congress, they got to stop groveling at his feet. And I'm not talking about Democrats. Democrats are not groveling to Donald Trump. They would tell him to his face that he's an insane, wacko fascist if they had the chance to do so. But Republicans, I'm saying, you members of Congress, you got to stop kowtowing. You got to stop carrying his balls. You got to stop, polishing his knob, all that stuff. You got to stop doing it. You got to look out for your constituents. You got to look out for the American people. It is your job, Mike Johnson. It is your job, Lindsey Graham. I'm talking to like the chief sycophants, right? All you guys, you got to stop it. Bernadette is with me there. She says, I totally believe it happened. Felon 47 is dangerous and destructive. Joanne Kennedy says, because Don Dimwit Pedocon, oh, that's a good one, is unhinged. 25th Amendment him. Bat shit crazy, neighbor Jack says. J-E-K, Jack. People are wondering when Lying Levitt is leaving on maternity leave. You know what? I don't think it matters, because whoever steps in to take her place is going to be as bad, if not worse, than her. If you can imagine that. Like every once in a while, I happen to catch those clips that ASIN puts up of the CNN roundtable or whatever. And I think they're all just kind of, anyone who is like a pro-Republican or pro-Trump surrogate in a discussion, a TV discussion, they are all auditioning for a role of, press secretary. Who can look the most believable as they're saying the most unbelievable things. So Yeah, that's we get, and everything that I just discussed today, it's not even it's not even scratching the surface of how crazy it is. Like there's uh we didn't even talk about Trump having to pay back. Trump is pissed that he has to pay back $160 billion of illegal tariffs, and these tariffs he still thinks that they're going to China. No, dude, they're going to the companies that paid these tariffs. And ironically, none of us, the consumers, none of us get any money back. We're out of luck. We just paid that increase. And so the companies, the corporations, they got to sell that stuff at a higher price. Then they're getting their money back. So we already paid extra, and then they're getting a bonus on top of that. MAGA, you guys okay with this? They're just robbing you blind. Tucker Carlson is is making noises like he regrets what he did. Let's see how much you regret. I want to see some real mea culpa, because I've heard the same similar noises out of Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan was just this weekend standing behind Donald Trump at one of those signing ceremonies like a toady. Like he's all in for Trump. That's why it's hard to believe any of these talking heads when they say, "Oh man, I couldn't believe Donald Trump was this. I didn't know he was this bad." Oh, can you appear in a photo op with him? Oh yeah, sure. But yeah, do you guys have any questions for BDD? Share them now or forever hold your peace. Willie is saying, where is all the trillions jerk off brung in? So I'm glad you asked that, right? Because he loves to say that he's brought in $18 trillion in commitments from all these different countries, right? But they're not even IOUs. They're just like a verbal, like, yeah, okay, we'll invest what do you say, 500 billion? Say make it $1 trillion. And we'll invest $1 trillion in you, sure. That's all it is. It's a verbal, like, it's a verbal jerk off. Because Willie said all the trillion jerk off brung in. Yeah, it's just a verbal hand job. 1 trillion, pa. 500 billion, pa. That's all it is. What movies are on my agenda lately? So I've been watching a bunch of TV shows. I'm watching Daredevil, which I absolutely adore. Having grown up reading the Daredevil comics, I am a humongous fan of how they are doing it. They're doing it right. Some TV shows like Invincible. There's something called Rooster that's on HBO starring Steve Carell, from The Office, Michael Scott from The Office, which is really fun. It's a fun show. People calling it like the replacement to Shrinking. It's not a replacement really, but it does have that same kind of feel good vibe. It's good. It's a good show. I enjoy that. Some documentaries. I saw a documentary about these crazy cults in Colorado. I feel like it's Colorado. I don't remember the name of the cults. It's like it was a continuation of a cult that was previously going on. I can't remember the name of this show, but yeah, watching that stuff. Really not too many movies. I did see that Crime 101 with Chris Hemsworth and Halle Berry. That was really good. Definitely loved that one. Melissa McQueen says Grok debunked it, but can we really trust Grok at this point? I'm assuming you're talking about the nuclear thing, yeah, no, you can't trust Grok because honestly, try this, right? Sometimes Grok will say something, and then if you push back on him just gently, say, hey, Grok, why are you saying this when you really said that? And Grok will bend like one of those bendy straws. Oh, you know what? You're right. That's my bad. On anything. Grok is very unreliable. Grok can be pushed around so easily, it's not even funny. Yes, Valerie G. I did see Mayor Mamdani and President Obama singing Wheels on the Bus to the school kids. Adorable. And I gotta say that Mayor Mamdani is the real thing. He is the real thing. And I'm pleasantly surprised to see that he is enjoying so much success in his first year. I hope it keeps going. He seems very disciplined, so you're not going to catch him out of pocket no matter how hard you try to get him with the gotcha questions. He's laser focused, and his focus, unlike many other New York mayors, he does seem like he is singularly focused on making life affordable for New Yorkers. And that dude is super duper impressive. I am, wow, bowled over by him. So yeah. Okay, so folks, thank you again for joining me for another episode of the Defiant Weekly. I'm your host, Majid Padelin, aka BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad Defiant. So thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you guys all here. Oh, and if you're not already watching, JoJo and I have a show on Thursdays at 4 p.m. on Substack, but it's also on YouTube, so you will see it streaming on my YouTube, also sometimes on the Twitter too. So you'll see that. So I look forward to seeing you guys there and seeing you here next week, same time, same place. I love you all. Peace. Incredible person, incredible human being. Yes, famous. Yes.